Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mini Metro. Looks like this time around we'll be attempting to deal with Montreal in Canada. So, Canada. I have some family who live there, and they're very they're not very noticeably Canadian, but still, they're all pretty cool people to hang out with. They actually came down to Australia on a holiday a while back, so we had a lot of fun hanging out, and I hadn't seen I hadn't seen those cousins in years, so it's definitely a cool time. So I'm not sure what to think about the different color scheme, but nevertheless, it's a nice change from the blue seemingly rivers. But nevertheless, it's still. It looks to be a fairly constricted area, and where we're just sort of covered around, and it looks like we'll be using the tunnels a fair bit, so we will definitely want to prioritize tunnels. As always, we'll be aiming for loops, and of course, just while I still haven't fleshed out a better idea of how how we should structure train lines, station distributions, line distributions across certain stations, and that sort of thing. I think with a bit more practice, we might get a better idea of what's going on. But for now, while we're just starting out, it's just relax and listen to the music. It is so calm and so soothing, and it's just absolutely perfect because I'm having such a crappy morning. At first I was in my previous episode, I mentioned having a phone interview, and the phone interview didn't actually. I feel it didn't actually go all that well, mainly because the person was from overseas and had a very thick accent, and me with my hearing impairment, I was having a bit of trouble, sort of just understanding her, and I was asking her to repeat a few things, and even though like most workplaces these days have like these kind of disability practices where it's like, okay, we should aim to be accepting and tolerant of people with disabilities because we understand that they have their own challenges and that sort of thing. In conversation, it's still, okay, do I want carriage or tunnels? I'm gonna go with carriage this time, even though we don't actually need it right now, so we'll just attach that to the green and let that do as is. So even though it's not really much of a contentious, at least the workplaces don't try to make it much of a contentious issue, there will still be difficulties associated with sort of dealing with that kind of people. So, and I just realized something. If a train has a carriage and is carrying more, it comes with the added problem of having to load and unload more customers. Okay, that's my little gem of insight for today. Yeah, I don't know why I did not realize that sooner. It's pretty neat. Anyway, with that, so it's like for me with the hearing impairment, one of my main issues will obviously be communicating with clients, and especially with people overseas as well. So, what do I want to do here? I don't actually know. You know what? I'll just do another line. Actually, let me pause this for a second while I think this through. Let's do that. We'll delink that. We'll put that in its own loop, and we'll have a single loop from the yellow, managing that on its own. Alright. And then hopefully we'll maybe extend the green out there and the orange out there a bit more. But we'll see what happens. So it's like, in terms of my hearing impairment in the workplace, it's like if I have to communicate with overseas clients, one of the main difficulties I'm always gonna have to deal with is their accents, and if I'm having trouble understanding the accents, then it will make communication difficult and slower and less efficient. So one of the things I've sort of just, I guess one of the things I'm trying to come to terms with at the moment is sort of just it's that someone like me would not be great for communicating with certain people, and that's where, like, say, especially in the recruitment process, an organization will prefer to have someone who isn't hard of hearing over someone who is, and it's really not a pleasant feeling to. It's not really a pleasant thing to have to realize, but I think it's just kind of a way of life. Not so much a way of life. It's more like it's just how things are. It's like how the circumstances are, and it's not something that I have so much control over. The least I could do is continue to be valuable in other areas, or possibly to look for roles in areas which I won't have that kind of problem, or to look for roles in a company that maybe does not involve that kind of communication. So it's a whole bunch of tricky things that I try not to think too much about. It's more like it's sort of just doing what I want to do, and not really letting those additional things get to me so much. So it looks like we've got a good system going on at the moment. From memory, we've got to break 500 in order to unlock the next station, and I think we'll be doing pretty well for the most part. I've still got a spare line which is not being used at the moment, but it seems like we won't actually need to be using it until a station pops up on maybe an island in which we will need to extend our train lines a bit. So we've got the green and orange and not much to say. I'll just take a quick sip of my tea until I wait for the next station to pop up. Okay, this station is a one of a kind, which definitely means that we may have to thread a couple of other lines through it, so that the green train is not so overburdened. But so far, you seem to be doing pretty well with not much to say. It's almost the end of the week, so yeah. I'm wondering whether we should grab more tunnels. I'm thinking, we should definitely grab more tunnels at the next opportunity up. Otherwise, we might get screwed over a little, since I still have this spare line that's not really being used. And okay. New locomotive, G9, or new carriage. Let's go for line. Tester lines is always a nice way to sort of just funnel, just having an extra line, extra train. And here, this is what I'm talking about. So we've got a cross here, and then we're gonna link this through and back to the cross. Alrighty. And I guess the other thing I was just thinking about when this cross popped up was the question of what is an ideal number of stations to train ratio, to locomotive ratio, and that's something I'm not really figured out just yet, because it's still something that I sort of judge based on feel. And what was the other one? It's also the distance that the trains have to travel, in which there is no real like metric way of measuring them, so it's a bit hard to say, and it ends up being one of those things you have to measure by sight. So it's a bit difficult to quantify and sort of lock down an actual theoretical understanding of how you should do this and that, basically. Which it seems a bit weird, but I guess in terms of theorizing things, it's sort of at first it just feels a bit weird. Sometimes it feels a bit contentious, but after a while you sort of just realize that it's done because it needs it's more like having a formal system of how things work, especially with naming things. It just makes it more accessible to people, even though it comes with the added inconvenience of people having to get used to new jargon, new names, new acronyms, and that sort of thing. So it's like one of the things that's always really bothered me about mathematics is that sort of new theorems and such, they're just, the names in themselves are not so easy to remember unless you've been immersing yourself in them for a while, because it's okay, you know what, let's just pause this for a second. I might want to give another locomotive to this area, so this yellow line actually should extend to the square station, but for here maybe I want to introduce a red line, so I'll just create a new line. No? Well, that's a shame. Maybe we'll do that. No? Okay. Well, that would do, because... Okay, new locomotive. Carriage or tunnels? Let's go for tunnels, because especially with these stations dipping out, we need, like, one tunnel to go in, one tunnel to go back, and since we've got an odd number, it's gonna make things a bit more awkward, so... Now, we've got a new carriage here, so I've got two on the yellow, I've got one on the orange, I've got one on the red, and one on the blue. I have a feeling maybe I should put it on the blue, because especially the blue has definitely more capacity to expand to get longer, so the line would definitely need a bit more attention. I'm wondering if I should move this from the blue to this one, because, or maybe I should just add it really. Alright, so here the yellow line is going to be extended a little further. And I don't like how he does this weird crossy thing, but look, it doesn't really affect much, so I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna try not to fret too much about it, but so far we've got a pretty neat system. We're using all our lines, and it looks like we're not having so much congestion issues, so I'm pretty happy for the most part. Obviously things will get a bit more difficult when we max out our lines, and we start getting a bit more complex stuff. We're almost breaking 500, so that's definitely our first milestone hit for this run. And yeah, I've actually been wondering what I want to do in terms of like once I finish all the cities ones, and I actually noticed there's like a bunch of achievements, so certainly trying to go for achievement runs would be a good idea. Would be nice and challenging. Okay, this is where I start. Nah. Okay, this is way out. This is gonna be a problem. If I extend this yellow line around, these stations are gonna be left alone on their own, and that's gonna cause problems as well. So what I need is a station that I can sort of thread this around with these stations. What I need is a line to thread around with these stations, so as much as I hate to do it, I have to disable this red line. And I'm gonna thread it around to these stations so that they get a bit more attention. Now these are okay, so I've got a red, and okay, I'm gonna thread the other side through. Now, the problem is at the moment at the top here we've got a whole bunch of circle stations, so part of me wants to thread the red station through some other non-circle stations so that some stuff can get moved around. So I'm thinking, okay, so if this, okay, so I'm gonna thread this here through this. I've got no enough bridges. Oh shoot. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this for a bit more. This is a problem. So it's gonna be one really long red line, and I'm gonna link this to the triangle here. It's definitely not the most efficient. Actually, no, this might work. To the square, to the circle, and to this. Alright. It's a little too long. I definitely would like to add another locomotive to this, but it should hopefully take some of the congestion issues of the yellow. It also links with this teardrop station, and should hopefully it crosses through the square station as well, and it links with the blue station on 2 points, so you can drop some stuff off to the cross station. So hopefully that works out. And it's the end of the week already. So do I want lines or do I want tunnels? I actually want a new line, because there would definitely be some more problems coming up soon, but I really could use both, so I would definitely take tunnels next time. Well, I would definitely take tunnels at the next opportunity, so I have a feeling maybe I should just add this extra locomotive to the red, so that, because it's fairly long and these two are going to get a lot of congestion until other stations pop up around here, which will allow me to create a shorter line so that I can funnel some of these to other stations. There's really not going to be all that much help or support coming along, so it's, yeah, definitely up here needs a bit more attention. So and I'm definitely a bit starved for tunnels, which, yeah, maybe I'm okay, so this one is coming up here, that will be dealt with, but okay, so okay, so yeah, we'll just have to see what pops up next. Luckily it's already Thursday. It's like time flies when you're having fun, if you call this having fun. Now, it looks like this orange station is really not getting a lot of action, so okay, need to, no, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna link straight to here. It doesn't look like this orange line is getting a lot of attention, so I'm feeling like maybe I should expand its range of influence, perhaps. Okay. And yeah, it certainly looks like this orange station is really not being all that useful, so part of me thinks it's like maybe I should stretch the red station to encompass all these, and then no, that's probably not the best idea. Okay, so it's nearing the end of the week. I'm looking forward to see. I'm hoping I would like to get two tunnels. Maybe I can establish a looping here that will help take some of the burden off the yellow line. Yeah, that's the plan. Well, you know, I get carriage instead of tunnels. Okay, so the plan now, I'll add an additional carriage to the yellow one, because that's to help deal with some of the congestion, and I'm gonna use, there's a whole bunch of circle stations here, so an extra line really won't be of much help, which is kind of a shame, because yeah, it doesn't feel like there's much to expand from, so we'll just keep the timer running, and maybe we'll just add this extra locomotive to another existing line to help deal with some of the congestion that's happening. So looks like blue is getting their hands full, and I've just realized that maybe I could take the diamond station off blue, so that they can worry about transporting square stations, cross stations only. That should definitely sort of leave things a bit more open. So yeah, the yellow line's really worrying me, despite not being all that. Yeah, it's, again, I'm sort of in a difficult spot because there's a whole bunch of circle stations here and I don't have any tunnels, so I can't put an extra line to sort of loop things around. And I've sort of, yeah, I definitely should have aimed to get more tunnels. I will definitely aim to get more tunnels at the next possible opportunity. So far this orange one looks like it's really not having a lot of movement, so I feel like maybe I should expand it a little. So maybe what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna link this green one over here, and then let's see if I can expand this orange a bit more. maybe I'm gonna need to detach everything again. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So detach here, 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 and here. Now, do I want to attach? No, there's two consecutive square stations, which is really not all that useful. But having the orange station deal with some of the and should I extend the red one? Yeah, I probably should. Alrighty, so it's already Friday. Time is really flying fast for me. Alright, so we've got this diamond, which we've got this diamond station here, which is on its own. So I'm gonna stem the green one over there. It's almost Sunday, so I'm sincerely okay. So I'm just... oh man, I'm not gonna lie, this is all keeping my trains very busy. And now this orange station, this orange station on this line is now starting to get busy, and now I'm hearing lots of blips all over the place, and it's, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little freaky. Tunnels, yes, finally. Okay, pause. Let's figure out what to do here. So I've got 2 new tunnels. I need another line to sort of thread through this very busy area, and I need to thread through this diamond area as well. So let's start from this diamond area. Let's try and... okay, so... alrighty. Do I want square stations on my purple line? No, probably. Looks like I don't have much choice really, so... my main problem right now is that I'm making my line a little too long, so it will definitely be an issue. But what I want to do is link it through some of the yellow stations that are not attended to already, and so that should hopefully help moving things around a bit easier. Alrighty. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty desperate already. It looks... I'm actually wondering if... yeah, okay. And I barely just missed 1,000, which is... oh well. But nevertheless, I think that was definitely a good run. We've definitely unlocked the next one, which is Sao Paulo in Brazil. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But so we need 500 on the next one to unlock Cairo in Egypt. So with that, I'm looking forward to another successful run in Brazil in the next video. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.